your skin, many pilgrims choose to skip this portion or take buses for some of it. It is described as the mental or emotional part of the journey, the mind part, because it definitely messes with perceptions of time and distance and difficulty. The trail can be very rocky at times, and for many whose feet were screaming, some with tendinitis or shin splints, the daily grind just becomes too difficult, and it is smart for those suffering to take a taxi or a bus or to take a few days rest. The third and final leg to the Santiago is from Lyon, and it is considered the spiritual part for the soul. As the Camino is a walking meditation, you feel in tune with nature and you feel protected. At this point, one has learned to let go and be in the moment, has learned a lot about self-preservation and the importance of appreciating others by acts of patience, compassion, and tolerance. Once we reached Lyon, we felt homeward bound and that we were actually able to finish the journey. We enjoyed this bigger city for its street vibe with small cafes and interesting menu choices. With tired bodies and sore feet, we were more than happy to stay in a hotel for the night run by a convent. The Gothic cathedral is Lyon's finest treasure, with its magnificent stained glass windows that cast rainbows of color and lets the streaming light steal the show. The cloisters that were especially well preserved were spectacular. In everyday life, the most unexpected happens. Walks represent struggles to overcome and perspectives to be gained. Many myths, fables, and stories use rocks to symbolize the obstacles characters must overcome to complete a quest. Pam and I had to use perseverance to deal with the unexpected quantity of them. The sheer size and number of rocks and stones made quick work of our pride. Some rocks have a mesmerizing quality. It isn't any wonder that our First Nations people would view them as the bones of Mother Earth. Are we not able to see all different things within stone shapes? Do rocks not move us to feel? Do you remember when you skipped stones in your youth? Or with your children or grandchildren? I received this rock which says, "All you need," from a student is love on the other side. A few years before I walked the Camino, and she was struggling really badly. And I chose to take her rock that she had given me as a year-end gift with me. And I carried it for 26 days to leave at the Cruz de Ferro, which is a huge iron cross that at its base there was a mound of rocks forming all over the years. A legend says that when the Cathedral de Santiago de Compostela was being built, pilgrims were asked to contribute by bringing a stone. The tradition is to place a stone here, brought from the place of origin of the pilgrim, symbolizing what the pilgrim wants to leave behind and to get ready for rebirth on the last part of the Camino. I left this rock to symbolize my wish for peace, hope, and love for all of my students, in particular the one that gave me the rock. My cousin picked up this particular rock during one long and difficult leg of the journey. We thought we had arrived at our destination only to find that we were 5 kilometers still out. So a few hours after she picked up this rock for me, I was to learn that my brother-in-law had just passed away at age 61 of a heart attack. I had called Larry, who was with my sister-in-law, and that was the news that I got. So this rock and the other rock were placed at the Cruz de Ferro to represent the fine people that they both were and are. In our last week, we often started our days like the Amazing Race, accompanied by the mist. For the first few hours, it was difficult to decipher the landscape. This gave a mystical quality to the rhythm of our walking, and the air quality felt very cleansing for our souls. Now, the next picture that you're going to see, I am listening to Susan Boyle. Anyone remember Susan Boyle from Britain's Got Talent? The one that shocked everybody. So I'm listening with my little iPod to her sing these lyrics. And so, here am I, open arms and ready to stand. I've got the world in my hands, and it feels like my turn to fly. This experience was pure, unadulterated fun. You know? The kind that is blissfully enjoyable. Do you remember a time when you had the warmest feeling in your belly? Well, even with sore, tired muscles and watering eyes, this is what joy must be. The beauty of the moment was embraced. I bottled it up in hopes that I could go back to that experience when guaranteed struggles in life wear me down. And at the present moment, I'm feeling worn down. And this is so appropriate for where my husband and I are on our journey right now. Well, only 100 kilometers left to go, and we are celebrative, and as our time comes closer to an end as pilgrims on a journey, we also became more contemplative and appreciative. The lessons of faith, of love, surrender, pain, relationships, release, joy, beauty, and most of all, trust, presented themselves on the Camino. The Camino de Santiago is indeed metaphorical. For us, it was a time of renewal and of giving thanks for the life we have been blessed with. How many of you have enjoyed walking the labyrinth? On our last day, just before dawn, we passed this church, which symbolized to me the final leg of our journey. I felt that Pam and I were gathered to Christ, as symbolized by the image of a church. Due to our suffering with him, we were both propelled forward, and then in the end, in Santiago, we were blessed with the crown of life for our completion of a difficult and trying journey. The shell and the arrow and the sign were the metaphors for us pilgrims, and as the waves of the ocean wash scalloped shells onto the shores of Galicia, God's hand also guides and leads his pilgrims to Santiago. Pam and I were led. We followed. We arrived safely into the arms of God. To conclude this reflection, we circle back to the powerful message of the chapter of Psalm 91. Whether we are on a physical journey, and some people here are on that journey, and some people here have loved ones on that journey. Or if you are in a time of serious circumstances, which some of us are, and we all have been, and we all will have again. There is a guarantee. God protects us. He is our refuge. He is our fortress. And his love and his protection, he pours into us. And we all say, thanks be to God. Let's all say that. Thanks be to God. Thank you.
We are pilgrims, voices united, 5-9.